Put it on my computer. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We're now recording. I'd like to introduce Dr. Amir Gefen, who is one of our alums. He's actually thrown in with us quite a bit recently. You can also listen to him on the podcast that was released on Monday, talking about AI. So Dr. Gefen is a expert in AI and is joining us today to talk about ways in which students can use AI as part of their application process and the ways in which guidance counselors can use AI to assist students in getting into college. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Deborah, and thank you, everyone. Really, again, like always, great honor to be, to be here as an NYIT alumni. The NYIT is where my career basically started, and I'm very happy and excited every time when I re-engage with NYIT in this professional manner around artificial intelligence. So let me share the presentation. I would warn you that we would do it interactive. We are not a lot of people here, so we would have some live demos, and we would really experiment with the tools. It would not be talking about something, but we will actually do the things. And I will share some slides and give introduction, but for the main course of this meeting, I would like you to start and thinking about if you are a high school student or a high school counselor. So if you are a high school student, think about start and phrase for yourself a prompt that you would use to help you with your admission essay. Okay, start and drafting on the side something, and I would later on would ask you to post that in the chat. We would analyze this prompt. Okay, there's a whole practice of some prompt engineering, and then we would see how the AI is reacting, and we would evaluate the response. And same from a counselor perspective, you can also choose a prompt that around recommendation letter or something, and here's a challenge of should be something very, very personal. So the prompt should guide the AI tool. What is it that we expect in this recommendation letter, because we don't want them to be the same for all our students. So think about those prompts, maybe even start and then drafting something while I give this introduction, and when we would get into the demonstration, we would use your own thoughts, and it would be interactive. We would analyze again that there's no judgment. Okay, it's a workshop. We are here to learn and practice and see where this is going. So with that, I will share the presentation, put it in the presentation mode in a second. Okay, so here we are, and we are going to discuss in the next 40 minutes or so using AI, okay, for college admission support. It's not something new. We are into the Gen AI era. It's almost a year, I think, from the day that ChatGPT was released to the market, and then that was on the very last day of November of last year. And since then, we are almost now celebrating 1 year with this technology, and and it really changed the world in so many ways. So education, college admission is just one way, but this is of course, across all industries, all professions. There's no one place which they cannot somewhat use or get some support from those tools. So really, very happy to lead this short meeting. So in my roles, just as a short introduction for myself, I'm an AI researcher at the Israeli Ministry of Education. And I'm, of course, looking on students and also high school students and higher education of all ages, and also faculty, help them to really get into this AI era better and more prepared. I would say from my, there's from what I see working on that, like for the past year, very intensively, because AI is not a new thing, but generative AI. I would say it's something to be aware about. There's a lot of difference in the level of, let's call it, AI literacy. Okay, some people really, doing that all day long, everything they need to write, to produce, it became really their close helper or assistant for many things and tasks. But I would say some people, and also some college students, as well as high school students, for various reasons, are not that proficient in this technology. So we need to pay attention. Sometimes we have this belief, especially when it comes to young people, oh, they all know, they master it, they like born into that. I can say not necessarily. Some do and some don't. And this actually creates, I see it it creates gaps. Those who can utilize those tools on their behalf really are advancing themselves, and they were actually the good students to begin with, and now they're becoming even better. And those who don't really stays behind. Okay, I'm also faculty member for artificial intelligence in Tel Aviv University, and as we said, very proud NYIT alumni from class of 95. Okay, so we'll give a short intro. I'm sure most people here, but just so we are all on the same line, and then we would go into some workshop session when I'm actually going to use your own prompts, thoughts. If you were, a high school student, or if you are a high school counselor, what would be the prompt that you would use? Either we would focus on two things. One is the application essays, and the other one is, of course, the recommendation letter. So you would put that in the chat in a couple of minutes. I would throw that into ChatGPT version 4. We would see the output, analyze. Maybe we would play with it. We would say, okay, let's do it. Let's polish it. Let's do it better. Let's write a second prompt. And I would use your prompts, for the demonstration, to make it really, relevant, relevant to your thoughts about it. We cannot talk about AI with all the excitement without, after the demo. We would see some things through the demo, and then, of course, I would summarize some challenges. It's not, this technology still have a way to go. The good news maybe is that, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, it will be way better than it is now. I would say, and I would like to give a place that from the faculty people that I meet, we are ambivalent about this technology. It's not a clear cut that this is the best thing that happened to humanity. okay? There's arguments around it, and there's debates around this technology, whether it's really magnificent and great as all. We need to be more cautious with it, and we need to respect the people who are cautious about it. They're not technophobic, okay? They really think that those things, you look at the picture, it immediately creates, yes, on one hand, here this robot is filling out my application. Wow, it's great. However, we're ambivalent about where is the student here, whom we are evaluating. At the end, we need to evaluate those people and get them in or out. Best, who is getting the evaluation? ChatGPT. So it's challenging. It's challenging, and I would like to hold this complexity so it's not running blind after this new guru of this technology. I would like to do a quick survey for us, those who are now on the I would like you to grade or rate yourself, okay? To what extent you feel proficient, okay, about using those Gen AI like ChatGPT and likes. Answer in the chat if you feel that you have high proficient, right high. If it's medium, so then medium. If it's still low, which is absolutely fine, right low, just so we can I can get a sense. So I see here low, medium, high, on that. So it will help me also to adjust, the explanations. So thank you for sharing, okay, and let's continue. I would like to, in one slide, in 2 sentences, because I want to leave most of the time for playing with and do the demo and do the actual things. Okay, but I think that what's important to remember, that at the end of the day, we're talking about a statistical machine, okay? Those AI models, are used, okay, we know, to generate text, images, and other media. Now, what's important to remember is that all those AI models learns from, I would say, patterns and structure, okay, from input, which we call in the AI world training data, okay, to generate new data with similar characteristics based on statistical models. So I would say with that, maybe I will go forward one slide and I'll say that there's 2 key elements that would influence the quality of the output of Gen AI. Okay, the first one is the quality of the training data that this system reside on. Okay, and the other one is the what we call the prompt. Is I would say if you prompt, if you would ask bad questions, you would get bad answers, and we would play with that in a moment. So I said that there's two factors that influence the quality of the Gen AI output. The first one, which I just mentioned, the quality of the training data, Usually it's not in our control. This is something that OpenAI with their ChatGPT or Google Bard or whomever or Claude or that there's very what we do control is the prompt and the quality of the prompt, and this directly influence the quality of the results. So when we many times meet colleagues or students and say, okay, I tried this Gen AI, and I don't really get it. What's the excitement? I'm, put some stuff there, get some, it's not something to write home about. Many times it's because of the prompt were not good enough. So then the output, immediately also not good enough. So here in our small workshop, we would do that. So ChatGPT, okay, just as a category leader, but I'm using it to a little bit elaborate about the technology. It's important to know what's under the hood, so we know what to expect, and we can know what are the limitations. So yes, we have this chat, this interaction layer, and this is not a Google search. We know already. It's a whole new ball game of prompt and prompt engineering, where we tell the machine about ourselves, about our interests, about this, about that. No one is approaching Google and say that I'm a high school student and I want to get into this and that college and help me. It's not the way it works. In Google, you just say, admission chances, whatever. Or even if you look for, admission essays, so you would get, hundreds of them. You need to go through them, and it will not, Google will not write those essays for you, but Gen AI will. Okay. Generative, that's the G, ChatGPT, generative. I know that faculty, also students, are worried. They say, okay, I'm putting a prompt, asking for some essay, but I know that also my friends are doing the same. So are we going to end up with the same essay to submit? I would get disqualified. So in a way, the answer is not. Okay, this machine, every prompt, it regenerate the output and make it fresh, new, and original. So it's not a search engine. It's not going based on your characteristics in the prompt and find what is the essay that is most similar to what you just described. Regardless of the prompt, it will take hundreds of essays, mix them, and create something for you. And even if you would re-enter, even if it's the same prompt, many times it would be, it would look a lot, but it would not be identical, word by word. Okay, never. Every prompt, there's some changes in the structure and some words and some, okay? So it's really an original piece of work from terms of ethics and plagiarism. If we get a piece of content from GPT, we search it on Google, we get an essay, we say, oh, this kid, it's a ChatGPT written essay. We would search for we would not find it on Google. Yes, there are tools that can tell us in this piece of text there's high chances that AI was used, but that's the most that we could get. So generative, pre-trained, again, it's a system which is pre-trained. This is why, for example, we would not get statements that are controversial, or God forbid, support in some actions which are illegal. It would say, no, I'm not providing you this information. It's not that these tools suddenly, develop like a conscience. it's a human intervention on the back end, in the algorithm, in the training data to say, these are illegal issues, and on those issues, you are not providing an answer. Okay, so just so we are clear, the transformer is really the statistical model that works on the background. We will not get too much into that. I think more importantly is let's check it out. Okay, so I would stop. I would share my not this one. Not my WhatsApp. I would share. Where's my browser? Here it is. Okay, so GPT-4, okay, in front of you in all its glory. Not the most aesthetic site that we ever saw, but we know behind it, it's one of the most powerful engines, and I like to use the OpenAI, the ChatGPT, for demonstration, because to me it's still the best tool. Yes, Bard is is improving quickly, Google Bard, and and also Bing, which is using the OpenAI technology, this technology within the. But for our demonstration, let's use the original celebrity of the category. Now, what I would ask you to do is let's use this tool to get us into college. Okay, now live, and we can throw in some prompts that we can assume that high school students are prompting this system, or high school counselors. So for high school students, when it comes to an essay, and for high school counselor when you need to write a recommendation letter for this kid, going filling out his college application. So I'm challenging you to put in the chat box that a couple of prompts. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about them, and we would evaluate those things. Okay, so Rakesh is driving, so you are off the hook, and the others. So I will give you a minute or so to, and again, there's no judgmental here. It's not a test. Let's play. Let's enjoy this creation together. Okay, let's make it interactive. So I'll give you like a minute or two. Okay. So thank you, Bora, for kicking us off. So Vera is saying, write a letter of recommendation for a student to get into NYIT. Is interested in business. By the way, when you do the prompting, say, I'm a college student, you can say, but that's okay. He's interested in business analytics. He's not strong math. He's finishing high school with a high GPA. Okay, let's start and play with that.
Can you make your screen a little bigger? Those of us.
Yes, sure. Let's do that.
It's a little small. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so here's the template is coming up. Domain, position, title, institute, okay, phone numbers, admission committee. It's nice already with the address. Okay. Okay. Dear members of the admission committee, I'm writing to I'm writing to recommend the student for admission for the business analytic programs at the NYIT. And then here you need to put your relationship with the students, like in advanced mathematics teacher, 2 years or whatever. I've had the opportunity to observe academic growth, dedication, and relentless to bring in studies. Student first name is always there was a clear affinity or subject, his capacity. Okay, you see for yourself. Beyond these academic achievements, what sets first name apart is intrinsic passion for business analytics is often spoken. Okay, additionally, this and that, given is exceptional. I recommend him for admission to New York Tech. I'm certain, okay, sincerely, okay. So here we have our, a recommendation letter. Reactions, okay. I would put this in the also, so we have it. We would keep those. I would put it also in the chat. It's too long for the chat, so never mind. I would put it in later on. I would capture it in a Word document. But now I would get your feeling, thoughts, reaction about this output. Is it good? Maybe if something is missing, or if we think about how to make it better, and then I would ask Bora to rephrase our prompt, and we would maybe use, we would ask it, the machine to rewrite if we have some recommendations. So what do you think? The floor is open. You can open your microphones.
So it seems like it's not that specific to the student. Like I mean, it's very general, kind of meets the requirement of a letter, but how would you be able to say, like, very specifically, this student has done something very specific? Can you get that in there somehow without them just rewriting it yourself?
So let's do that. Let's let's not let GPT off the hook that quickly. I would like you, Deborah, to write, say something. Okay, thank you. It's okay. It's not that good. I would like you to rewrite this recommendation letter. However, this time I'd like you to bring in and then put 1 or 2 things that it would make it better as you wish. Let's see if it can, if we can push this technology to a higher standard, not accept this one as it is what it is. Let's try to do it again, put more effort into that. So I will wait for your prompt, and of asking the GPT to rewrite and with some instructions. Now, what's nice, I would say, on the background while Bora is writing the prompt, to say, of course, what's nice about this technology, that it has a feature which is called attention. Attention meaning we don't, unlike Google, where every search starts the beginning, this chat conversation bot is remember the context. So when Bora in a second would give us an improvement prompt, we don't need to rewrite the initial prompt. It remembers. So that's from in the technology, from a technology standpoint, this feature is called attention, meaning knowing what is the context of the conversation. So we would wait a minute for Deborah. And I would also, while we do that, I would ask someone else, another volunteer, maybe to write a prompt about a high school student essay. Put yourself in the shoes of a high school student, and let's see, maybe an essay if we would have time. Okay. So rewrite to include the students as one math award, and he belongs to the math club. Excellent. Okay. What's nice about GPT? It's not, which is bad. Some people are, unlike humans, that it will never say you. So why didn't you said so in the first time? Now I need to rewrite everything. No, it has endless patience to rewrite and rewrite and rewrite, and it makes it, a very nice companion. Okay, it will not complain.
There's what's interesting is it said that he often leads workshops, something, like, I never said that. And it's making stuff up.
In a moment, yes, this, as I said, this technology, it is making stuff up, and maybe this is less visible when we are giving a task like this one of writing a recommendation letter. The place where it gets very risky is when we ask it from an academic's perspective for references. Okay, I would speak when I sum up this short workshop about a technology term which is called hallucinations. So this technology, when it doesn't know something, it makes things up, because at the end it's a statistical model. So if it has a strong statistical relation, of course it would bring it up and it would be good. And in some places where it's weaker, it will not say, okay, I need to check on that and get back to you. It would give the best possible, even if it means that this machine would invent things that can be total mistakes, or some, as we call it, full hallucinations. But still, I would ask you, Deborah, are you happy with the rewrite? Or what do you think? Do you see improvement here?
Yeah, it added in those specific things, but it also added in those extra things. So then I'd still have to rewrite it so that it was, it didn't have that extra.
Right. And I think what comes out from what you say is that, and I think this is one of the messages, we can never, and we should never use it as is, like a copy paste into the application or into the form. As good as we are with prompt engineering, we always need to take this as a baseline and rewrite and polish and add and change things. So this is really, I would say, in a way, a warning for us, for everyone who is using this technology, not to use it as is. Okay, it's look on it always as a baseline, good baseline, if we put a good prompt, but no more than that. It's not a finished product. It always need to be observed, analyzed with critical thinking, as you did. See Yes, so we can, and then we need to decide in terms of effort. Do we still want to invest effort in, reshaping the prompts, which is also requires some effort? I'll say, you know what, this is a good enough baseline. Let me copy paste that into a Word document. I would, take it from here, and I would make the specific adjustments that I need. But I think that we would all agree that in a way it definitely saves some time. Okay, it really gives you a good baseline. We can say from 0 to 10, maybe it's a 7, 7.5, 8. It's not 10. I would say it's never a 10. Okay, there's always some gap. 10%, 15%, 20%. There's always a gap. Okay, in this technology. So maybe we would do, if you want, one more, just to get the sense of it, one more demo. If someone on the call wants to challenge ChatGPT with an essay, with a college application essay that the high school student needs to write about himself or herself or herself. So I would give like a minute, and as if someone wants to contribute a prompt, I would say, same as we saw right now, the more specific you are, with the math award and the math club and this and that, you would get this is like a tailor-made suit for you, but you need to provide the measures, the characteristics. So this tailor on the background can, give you exactly what you need. So there's, I mean, there's no end to it. The more specific that you are. Now, I would say, I don't know if someone is crafting a prompt, but I would say, in terms of practice, think, although it's usually, it's a bit weird, it takes time to get used to it, but I would like you to think, when you are when you are writing a prompt, that you are actually talking to a human being who is here to help you. So maybe think about this high school student who is now picking up the phone, and there's a person that for, even for as a paid service, is saying, I would help you. I would, write your admission essay for you, but give me some background, give me some details. I don't know you. So in order to come up, I need to know you. Now, this technology, by the way, is getting better, and some of the features here in version 4, for example, you can bring up a resume and say, here's my resume. Okay, everything you need to know about me is here. Based on that, write a recommendation letter. So the technology is there. Now let's take, just do one more. Okay, that's a, straightforward prompt. Also, in terms of tips for our, whenever we change, subject or perspective, we need to go to a new chat. Otherwise, this attention, we would confuse this machine. So because we started as a recommendation letter, suddenly, okay. So if we change subject, we need to start a new chat. Okay. Now, the magic that we see here is really, and it's really a tremendous technology. What's happening in the background is that based on the very limited information that we gave, this technology say, okay, I'll give you something because I'm familiar with thousands or tens of thousands of such essays. I know what you need, okay, and let me give you something. And the more, as I said, the more specific we are in the prompt, okay, it would be better. And okay, so just as we are about to finish, initial looked at the prompt is, of course, much larger than the not the prompt, the output. Then the prompt was very short, like two 1-2 sentences. From a first look, what do you think, Bora? Initial reaction. We gave it very little specification.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, huh? It's not bad. Think about this college student. Here's something to start working with. So I would say at this point, of course, he can improve the prompt, but by entering some personal characteristics and things that he did and interested, and then rewrite it. And then, once it's getting, I would say, 80% there, it's enough, okay? It will never get into 100%. So if you feel it's an 80% there, take it and do the extra 20 by yourself. So just to summarize, I would go back to my my presentation, okay, and I would I promise you to to talk about some challenges around it. So first of all, that there's always this cloud of ethics around it. It's like you should write your own essay. It should. This is your way to tell about yourself and to come forward. Once someone else is writing it, whether it's a human being or a technology, there's something gray here already. I think we still need it's this is a new era. Maybe it would be okay to say, in this essay I took some assistance or support from Gen AI or ChatGPT. Give that it's not all that you were got assisted by someone, same as, I don't know, like on another example, so that's one thing. On the challenges list, I said we need to always remember, and we need to communicate this to our high school students. This system is not bulletproof. It still has, like any technology, it still has bugs and mistakes. Sometimes the information is under it needs to be validated, okay? It's never the full product. And biases, okay, there's lots of biases because it's a statistical model, and we need to be very careful on that. Some of those essays are very sensitive, and we need to see in terms of gender, in terms of whatever, okay, opinions. So we need to check everything carefully. And as I said before, the hallucinations, okay, it can just bring stuff up. So I didn't ask for that. Where are you? Why? And from where are you bringing this? So we still have a lot of what we call on the technology side black box around this. We don't really know. We don't get the transparency and clarity. Why did you wrote what you wrote? So that's another reason why we need to be always some cautious and suspicious a little bit around this around this technology. Okay, so with that, we took a couple minutes, but I would, let's open it for some, Q&A, and I would, let you proceed with your day. So first of all, I want to thank you for coming and participating in this small workshop. Reactions, thoughts, questions, floor is yours.
Well, thank you. That was certainly eye-opening. Are there any questions? Ellie, you're cutting out. You want to type it?
Sure. Is it what's the one that would be recommended as most sophisticated and useful?
You're cutting out. We couldn't hear you. All right. Well, thank you very much, Amir.
Thank you. Yeah, always. It's like a magic show. I always enjoy, you always feel like, in a way, like, yeah, so I like it.
If there, you could always be in touch with us, and
Yes.
there'll be more seminars like this coming up for guidance counselors and for faculty and for students. Maybe we'll host something like this as part of our high school boot camp to really teach students
Yes.
how to use this responsibly. So that might be coming up soon.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for coming, and I'm going to stop
Thank you.
recording.